Interview with a key Republican, Senator Lindsey Graham. Dana, you're joining me now. Tell me about what he said.
Well, he literally just came by here in between a flurry of meetings that he and other people are having to try to keep the government open, which, as we know, as you've been reporting, the deadline is tomorrow at midnight. The question, though, so many questions for him, is not just about that, but about the central place that he has had in the chaos surrounding immigration and relations with the president. I started there. My colleague Dick Durbin said, you guys got sandbagged. First and foremost, who sandbagged you? Do you believe it was the White House Chief of Staff?
All I can tell you is that at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning, he talked with Senator Durbin. Senator Durbin indicated we had a bipartisan proposal. He ran through it with the president. The president says, that sounds very good. Let's talk about it. I think the president actually gave some interviews with the Washington Journal or somebody about 10:30 saying he feels like we're close to a breakthrough. So all I can tell you is I don't know what happened between 10 and 12. The meeting did not go well, and we are where we are.
What John Kelly has said publicly is what happened is that he actually got the details of the proposal from the perspective of conservatives. And he realized that what you're saying is something that he was convinced that what you are saying and what you're proposing is not something he can back.
I think there's some people around the president in the White House, and John Kelly's a wonderful man, an American hero if there ever was one. He's done a good job of creating order out of chaos, but on immigration, I've been dealing with it for about 10 years. I know where the bandwidth exists, what you can and can't do in phase one, and there's still some room. The president laid out a pretty good idea, but there's people in his ear in the White House who are outliers. There are people on his staff who have been working in the Senate that are well known to be complete.
Who are you talking about? Stephen Miller? I mean, name names.
There are people around the president who have an irrational view of immigration. They always have, and if you follow that lead, we'll never get anywhere. Let me tell you where we can go. You won an election based on we need to secure our border. Mr. President, hats off to you for winning the election. You deserve to start securing our border. You're right about a wall. We need a wall. We need to start the wall now. You're right about these kids are wonderful kids. I'm sure there are a few bad people. They're mostly good kids. You're right about compassion and security and love. That's the way you get a deal. All I can tell you is that you're not going to get comprehensive on the Republican side, which a lot of people are pushing you. You have good instincts. Close the deal. The guy Tuesday laid out what the deal should look like. Now let's just close it.
Is John Kelly one of the people around the president that is irrational when it comes to immigration?
I don't think John Kelly's irrational. I think he has never closed a deal before. Politically,
is he keeping you from the deal?
I don't know the inner workings of the White House, but I do know this. It took us weeks to get a border proposal. You know, he accused a lot of us of fiddling around. I've been working on this for 10 years. We still don't have a plan from the White House what diversity lottery should be replaced with. We still don't know what they want on chain migration, other than comprehensive. All I can say is that the border proposal we got, I could support, but there's no way you're going to get all of that for the DACA population. Here's what I'm trying to tell folks. The Democrats got to have leverage for the rest of the 11 million. If they give us all we want on border and go to merit-based immigration, why would they ever expect us to deal with the rest of the 11 million illegal immigrants? Conversely, what if we legalize the 11 million? Do you think they would ever, Democrats, deal with us on border and merit-based immigration? We have no leverage. So phase one is a down payment on everything.
Can you tell me what happened in that meeting, in your own words?
No, I can tell you this.
Why not? Why
don't you? Because I want to make sure that I can keep talking to the president. I told him what I thought, and that's more important to me than anything else.
But he did call those countries shithole countries. You can confirm that.
You can keep asking me all day long, and I'm going to tell you the same thing. Why don't you ask me, is he a racist?
That was my next question.
Okay, why don't you ask me?
Do you think that he is a racist?
Absolutely not. Let me tell you what. You could be dark as charcoal and lily white. It doesn't matter as long as you're nice to him. You could be the Pope and criticize him. It doesn't matter. He'll go after the Pope. You could be Putin and say nice things, and he'll like you. Here's what I found. He's a street fighter. It's not the color of your skin that matters. It's not the content of your character. It's whether or not you show him respect and like him. And if he feels like you're off script, you don't like him, he punches back. And as President of the United States, the only advice I can give you is that the street fight's over. We need a leader. And you got here by being a street fighter. You beat me, you beat everybody else. Mr. President, you have the ability to bring this country together. What I saw Tuesday was really amazing. So what we need is that president to come back, close the deal to get defense spending because we desperately need it, give these kids a better life because they need it, and they, the country is behind you there. And let's start moving on and getting things done. The country is with you, Mr. President, on securing the border. The country is with you on helping these DACA kids. There are people around you who are giving you advice that's just beyond what the market will bear. There's real estate markets and there are political markets.
He himself, according to our reporting, made calls after everything blew up in that meeting, saying that he is happy that this is good for his base. His base likes him. I've covered you for a long time. This is exactly the kind of race baiting that you can't stand in your own Republican base. Does that bother you that he thought that it getting out there that he called those countries?
I don't know who he called. I didn't like what was said and I spoke up. But here's what I believe about Trump. If the Pope is critical, he goes after the Pope. If Putin's nice, he'll say nice things about the Pope. I really don't believe the color of one's skin matters with President Trump. What you say about him matters more than anything else. You don't have to agree. That's what I believe.
That was going to be what I was going to ask you as well, which is you have spent the better part of this year doing exactly what you're talking about. Killing him with kindness, getting to know him, golfing, talking to him frequently on the phone. And it seems to have blown up in your face.
No, I don't feel that way at all.
How come?
Because I think we're going to get a deal. The Tuesday Trump, that guy, that's the guy I play golf with.
But doesn't it bother you that the President of the United States has a different personality and an outlook between Tuesday and Thursday?
If you don't understand that there are more than one politician in all of us, he is pretty naive. Everybody on
You
Capitol.
have a lot of consistency.
Well,
I don't think it's a question of whether or not you stand in a certain place on this issue.
I'm not here to analyze President Trump. Everybody says he's healthy.
This is about
I believe
being able
he's
to work
healthy.
with him.
Yeah, so here's what he's got to do. Here's what I got to do. I've got to show some flexibility. The proposal we wrote is not the Bible, so it can be added to. There's not much, but we can add to it. John Kelly, I admire him greatly. General Kelly needs to kind of get a team down there to help us all get to yes. If we just use President Trump's guidelines Tuesday, we'll get there. And it's just not about immigration. We need to get the military better funded. And I will say this without any hesitation. There is no way we as Republicans are going to get a deal on all the things we want and leave these DACA kids behind. I think we should do both. We should get defense spending to help a military that's under siege and go ahead and get the DACA kids right with the law. I think most Americans would appreciate that.
And finally on this, I have to just ask you this because people who know that I've covered you for a long time come up to me. It's kind of striking how many times I've heard, what is going on with Lindsey Graham? Why is he thinking that he can have such an effect on the president? This has been over the past year. What's the answer to that question?
He's president. He's going to make a lot of hard decisions on North Korea and Iran. Every president before him has put him in a bad spot with North Korea. He's got right instincts on Iran. He needs not only my help, but a lot of people's help. He's trying to fix a broken political system. He beat me like a drum. I worked with President Obama where I could, and I like the president. I like playing golf with him. I don't always agree with him. I respect the fact that he won the office, and I'm not in the resist camp, and I'm not going to tell him everything he wants to hear. I'm going to be me. And at the end of the day, I want to help this president because I owe it to the people of South Carolina and to the country. We should all want him to be successful.
I know you have to go. How's John McCain?
I visited John last week. Very pleased with his progress. He's making progress. We laughed a little bit. We cried a little bit. And I admire him greatly, and I'm hoping that he can come back and be with us.
Thank you, Senator. I know you have a government to keep open, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's good. Thanks.